Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this training today on Outbreak reporting tool. My name is Dr. Joel Kakicha. I'm working with Dr. Esther Tan at Dimanche. So I'm going to explain how to use the online outbreak reporting tool to report your outbreak within your mission. Let me share my screen. So as a background, this online reporting tool was launched by the Dimanche divisions, but with the support of a DPPA and also DPO for the intention to support the mission to control their outbreak, to support the mission actually to respond to the ongoing outbreak until the end of outbreak. So the online outbreak reporting form, it has 10 sections from narrative up to the last of requirements of these reports. And currently, we have two separate reporting for mission level reports and also for non-mission level reports. By using the link, when you use the link, it immediately brings you to this page where you have the allocated place where the field operation mission should report, and the other place here where the non-mission location should report. So depending if you are from a non-mission or you are working under a field mission, you can actually choose. I can take, for example, I'm working for UNAMIS, or I'm working in MINISMA or MINISCA. Those are field mission. So I just come here, I open, it's searching. So when you reach this page, you actually have two options. Either you are going to create a new report with a new outbreak, or you have an existing outbreak and you want to edit or to update, because you want to update the reports which was sent to Dimanche. To give you some backgrounds, this online reporting form was created actually for the mission to better respond on their ongoing outbreak. And when we are saying outbreak, the definition as per actually Dimanche recommendation, it's any two new cases within a cluster, within a location, and also time periods. So the reports you have to submit, it should have at least two cases, and those two cases should be linked. So it should be a cluster. We are not like reporting the number of cases in the mission only. No, we are reporting the cluster. One mission can have 2, 3, or more clusters of outbreak. And if we have 2 or 3 clusters, we need to report them separately. If, for example, it's a non-mission, in a non-mission, we have different agencies. We can have UNICEF, we can have UNDP, we have UNHCR. So when we are reporting using this online outbreak reporting form, we are actually reports the cluster. Under UNHCR or under UNICEF or under UNDP, they might have more than 2 clusters or only 1 cluster. And a cluster, it has 2 cases or more which are linked. So let's take an example that you have to you have a new cluster and you want to report. So you open the link, you come here where it's written add new outbreak, you open the new outbreak. Immediately it brings you to this form, as you can see on my screen, and it has the section number 1 up to the section number 10. Number 10 is there. So you need to fill in section by section. On my form here, you can see on the name of mission and duty session, it's written test because I'm just using it for the purpose of training. Then you have here where it's written active. Active means the outbreak is still active. That means it has cases in isolation facilities and also contacts in quarantine facilities. Once all the cases have been discharged and all the contacts have been discharged, you can come back to your outbreak. Let me show you how to come back. You can actually come back to your outbreak. So you come again here, and then it's searching, and then you come here to update existing outbreak. So it will bring you again to the form. It will bring you to active outbreak. That means the outbreak which still have cases under isolation and also contact under quarantine. So you will actually have the option to update the figures because sometimes you have an ongoing outbreak, but initially it has more cases, but now some cases have completed the time period of their case management and they are actually out of isolation. And some contact under quarantine, they can actually develop symptoms, then they become suspects and they are considered as the cases because by definition, the MOSH consider cases all lab confirmed cases and also the COVID-19 like symptom, even if they are not tested, but based on the clinical features, you can actually decide this is a probable or a suspected cases. So some contact under quarantine, they can develop symptoms, and then they become cases. So you better on a daily basis or every 2 days, come back to your outbreak and update your outbreak. In case your outbreak become inactive, that means you have discharged everybody cases and also the contacts, you can actually turn your outbreak to be an inactive outbreak. You have a way to put an outbreak to become an inactive outbreak. And we are also going to get information that the outbreak, for example, from a UNIFIL or for UNAMID has been inactivated. So let me go to the new outbreak. You have new 2 cases which are linked. You open your outbreak reporting form, you put it active, don't put it inactive, so you put it active, and then you come here on the third section, which is a summary and narrative reports. This is a critical part because here we are expecting you to give us a good summary, and from your summary, we will be able to learn about the number of cases, also to learn about why did you test the cases or why don't you test the cases. We also learn about the outbreak onset. How did outbreak started? And then we can also learn about a summary on the mitigation measures you haven't taken. So after reading this summary, we already have an idea of the size of the outbreak you have. And then from here, you put the dates for the initial index cases, when the initial cases were reported. From experience, we saw that some index cases are not known by the mission, but you actually have an idea when you have learned about the outbreak. Maybe you learn about the outbreak past week, it was only one case, and then the contacts have been identified, put under quarantine, and after 5 days, some contacts start to develop symptoms. So once you have symptomatic people under quarantine, immediately they become cases. They are considered as suspected or probable. So plus your existing initial cases, which are considered as index cases, now you have more than 2 cases. You can maybe have 2 cases or more. So here you put the dates when you have learned about the outbreak, the dates the outbreak have started, the dates the index cases have been identified. So you have to have a recall. You have to recall when you have identified the one case to put here the dates. And then your narrative here, you're going to write the day you already have 2 or more cases. So that is very important to understand here, that you report when you have 2 or more cases, but here you put when you have learned first about this outbreak. So the third question, I call myself this section as a statistic section. So here, you actually describe the cases you have. You can have lab confirmed symptomatic and also lab confirmed asymptomatic, and also other cases, we are actually consider them cases because of their symptoms. So they are suspected or probable, but they did not undergo the testing. So you put them here. And all people listed here, they should be under isolation. And then here you put the number of contacts. And from there, you also put the geographical location where the cluster is happening. Then here you have the possibility to specify if the affected people, are they uniform personnel or they are non-uniform personnel, those are civilian, or they are mix of uniform personnel and also civilian. Then from there, once you finish that section of choosing the specificity of the population, you come now to describe the affected population. So they might be the contingents, and here what we are expecting you to explain, just to explain the population affected. Are they like military engineers, or are they working as a contractor? So here you give us the nature of the people who are affected. From there, you can actually give us the nationality. You can give us the nationality. If they are mix of nationality, you can still explain it under the narrative section. You can explain under the narrative section that the number of cases, they are actually Beninese or Cameroon or the Nepalese. You just explain that they have different nationalities. So from section 1 to 6, those are just general information which Dimanche needs to better write our summary. Then you come to the section 7. From section 7 to section 8, here now it's going to explore the source of this outbreak. Which factor can have contributed to the onset of this outbreak? So section 7 particularly, it says, please provide information on observed common factor among cases. So here you have a tip. So you can come here to the annex. It gives you some example of common factor. So they might belong to a specific occupational group, like they belong to the same contingents, or they have the same UN office. They are actually working in the same office, or they worked in a common location, or they are also sharing bathroom. They're sharing also the eating area, the recreation area. You just describe here the common factors which might actually contribute for them to spread the infection between them. Then you came to number 8, section 8, where we are requesting you to provide the information on the suspected initial case, initial cause, origin of this outbreak. So for these sections, you will more focus on the origin of this outbreak, the initial cause of this outbreak. But you have a tip here, section annex 2. So you might say, for example, the initial case may have been exposed through local rotation of ill soldiers coming in from another affected area in the country. That's one of an example. Or you can also say the initial case was asymptomatic and identified as a case only after exit screening put in place by the government. Yeah. For that particular case, we saw it so frequent from different missions, whereby you have asymptomatic case, they don't know if they have COVID, but during the pre-travel testing, then they discover 2 or 3 cases within a same group. And from there, you start the outbreak because it's already a cluster. So it's good to read this tip which are annexed to this form, and then you can actually pick the one which actually apply for your outbreak. Now you have section 9. The section 9, we are asking you to provide information on control measures that have been taken by the mission duty station for this particular outbreak. So under this section, you actually describe the measure taken. And again here, you have some tip, annex 3, you open here, you have example of measure to be taken. That's why we actually consider this online outbreak reporting form as a support tool to your mission to control your outbreak, or to support the ongoing response which you have already implemented. Then we are going to get some tip here to ensure, for example, if all ill soldiers are internally rotated to another location, reinforce that dining should be in small cohorts, patrol in community reduced to critical activities. All those listed here are among the decision which can be taken by your mission to mitigate your outbreak. So lastly, we have the last section, which are actually, DEMOS is asking you to provide information, if any, on upcoming measures that are being planned. Under this section, there's no annex because we only have annex on section 9, 8, and 7. But here, you can actually say that the mission have decided, for example, to conduct a mass testing for the entire contingent. That's one I saw it from some missions. Or you can actually say the mission have decided to postpone the trip for those affected contingent. So here, so under section 10, you just say some actually measures taken, which can be implemented maybe later, or which are not, for example, like if there was a rotation to take place, you can say here that the rotation have been cancelled. For example, just an example I'm saying. So once you finish section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you can actually submit your outbreak. Once you submit, immediately we got it at DMOSH level. And you only submit once you have a approval from your CMO, or maybe sometimes the CMO itself who is submitted in collaboration with the FMO within the mission. Then you submit. So for us now to report, we have actually classified the outbreak. Any outbreak which is reported to us, but with cases range from 2 to 5 cases, we call it small outbreak. It remains in our platform, but we are not going to report because it's small. So once the case move from more than 5, like from 6 to 20 cases, we call it medium outbreak. And that one, we report it. So from 20 to 50, from 21 to 50 cases, it's a large outbreak. And above 50, all above 50 are very large outbreak. So we will only report all the cases starting from medium cases. I think I have finished all the sections, and also I have explained how to use this outbreak reporting form. In case you have a question, don't hesitate to send us an email using this email which I just highlighted here. You choose the blue one, or you send the question directly to Dr. Esther Tan, and I believe you have his email. So thank you very much. Thank you for your attendance to these trainings, and we are expecting you to start reporting all the cluster outbreak you have within your mission. Thank you very much.